and smooch people, and I'm all out of monsters. That is... No, Parker, stop that. There is smoke. Fuck me.
Tell me your indoor cat won't survive in the...
We're good. I was definitely paying attention, and there are no issues whatsoever. I don't know what anybody's talking about. Hi, we're back. We decided to do this game again. I don't know where we left off. I feel like we left off in a decent spot, though, so... here it goes. I got nothing. I haven't even, like, looked. I have not given this game a second glance. Also, I don't know how it's Thursday. My brain has just convinced that it's, like, Tuesday, too, and I still have many, many a day of work left to go, to which I'm not exactly thrilled about. However, anyways, welcome. Also, no, there is no music yet. I don't know. Listen, I'm here, my hair is clean, we're doing just fine. Okay. Come on. We'll adjust sound as we need to. Oh. Okay, we're starting. It's getting a little bit there. I know we were having some audio issues with this game previously, too, so we'll see what has to happen. I know not. I know nothing. Oh, see, like, it's already starting to build up again. And I don't know if that's just... I gotta figure this shit out. We'll be fine. Pro streamer. Absolutely pro right here. Okay, that said, this is a dope track. I kind of love this. This is good music. So, okay. All right. Hello. 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 Oh, yeah. That's a lot. I was about to say, oh, yeah, as if I know what happened last. I absolutely do not. I bid farewell to someone, probably with a Deep V shirt. Okay. Forgot how cute the art was with this one. Oh my god, we're at the tavern! Okay. Dope. I push my way into the tavern, scanning every table for that shock of white hair. Much to my relief, I see the friendly face I'm looking for. Who am I looking for? He noticed me already, his hand raised as he beckons me over to where he sits alone in a cozy spot in the corner. His smile is as bright and as wide as I remember, and I take a seat opposite of him.
It's good to see you.
Oh,
the town hasn't scared you off yet.
I forgot we were looking for Ezra. I forgot that's what we were doing this whole time. Listen, I don't know what I'm doing. I raised an accusatory eyebrow at him, earning a laugh. Well, even if I was scared off, I can't really go anywhere, can I? Ezra smiles softly, but he seems restless. I suppose not, no.
What's that like? Being bound to do whatever you're told. By your duty.
Don't know, don't like it. Guess what? Go off, do my own thing. Gonna go do something else. Do what I want. It's lonely. I contemplate his question for a moment, not wondering exactly how honest I should be. Let's be honest. Well, it is quite lonely, especially when you're torn from your previous post and dropped into a weird town full of strangers. And murders. Don't forget those. He winks, a sparkle in his eyes. And murders. Yes, of course. How can I forget the murder?
I'm sorry you have to endure that. Loneliness is a terrible thing, but you shall be lonely no more. We've got you now. We're here for you.
H-Dog, honestly, same. Honestly, same. Hard same. This feels very forward. I've known you for a day. I also don't know who here is the murderer, although I presume it is General what's-his-name. I don't remember anybody's names. I don't remember anything about this game. It's been a few weeks, let's be real, but also... He sits a little straighter, determined. We? He rolls his eyes playfully and placed a hand over his heart.
You wound me. Yes, we. Myself and Finn and Piper and, well, maybe even August, if you're lucky.
I don't think August likes me. I don't think August will ever like me. We might have joined a cult. Actually, no, we have a murder mystery to solve. That's all I know. That's all I remember. Murder mystery, deep V-neck shirts. His isn't so deep. This is the most tame V-neck I've seen in a minute in this game, to my recollection. I don't know beyond that. But, also, there are vampires and werewolves in this? He's a magician. He's a wizard. You know what? Oh, God, there is a sort of cult-like thing, so I wouldn't be surprised if they did it.
You have people here. Some might be undead or just plain stubborn, but you have us.
Do I, though? Again, I just met you 2 days ago. At most, a week ago. That feels... I know there's such thing as trauma bonding, but hear me out. I feel as though this is a little fast. Thank you, Ezra. That means a lot. Are you trying to get me to not suspect you? He shrugs it off, running his finger through the rim of his wine glasses. Yeah, it's when you go through something very traumatic with other people and you become a lot closer because you have that shared experience. Or it doesn't even need a shared experience. It just means if you've both endured a trauma or are recovering through it or whatnot, then you bond with somebody. And typically those bonds are really, really strong and very intense. Hello and welcome to Words with Parker, or Terms with Parker. I feel like I did this the last time too when I was talking about queer baiting. So trauma bonding is, effectively building relationships with people over either shared or similar traumas. And having that be what ties you together. It is effective for relationship building, she says, very, very cautious. It's not healthy. It's not actually healthy because it typically means you're holding on to your trauma as opposed to working on healing from it. So, like we say, a really pretty plant get run over. H-Dog, that is not to judge your trauma. It's not always short-term stuff, because traumas can last and can live in a body for decades. They can last with you for a while. But that's where you tend to see a lot of how, and especially like TV and movies, how people become so close so fast is because they've experienced something rather harrowing together. I do joke that when I've gone through and so for that reason, the relationship could last as well. However, it's a catalyst to like really jumpstart something. But whether or not that relationship lasts is a whole other matter. I have joked that I have been through several events that are trauma bonding experiences because we share that trauma together and we are now forever bonded to one another. However, no, most of those you can work through and get over and not be actually impacted, nor are they actually trauma. But yeah, there's your thing of the day. I have no idea, but it's a fascinating concept. I haven't done I should do more research into it, mostly because it is kind of cool. Not cool. It's fascinating in the like scientific sense of how it works. Kind of like how people, if they've gone through like horror movies, get together. Hello, Saul. That it is. Admittedly, sometimes I really love streaming and how often y'all tend to spam the hydrate, because it actually, if I'm behind on drinking water that day, it does me a lot of good. So, haha, doing me a service now. Listen, it's not what I meant. I will say, you will run out of them. I think it's 10 per person. Which really has just motivated H-Dog to encourage everybody else to hit hydrate. So, you know. Case in point. I will work on an emote for you. Anyways, we've learned about trauma bonding already today. What else will happen?
We've all been lonely at some point. Some of us will always be lonely, even surrounded by people. But if there's the smallest chance that you can quell that with some good company, then you should take it.
You're not wrong, BK. The hydration redeem is always meant to be a good thing. I feel like there have just been some days where I've had a lot of water and I have been concerned. It's true. And I get very I don't know. Me and water. Who is actually good at water consumption here? Like, hands up. Nobody. It is a team sport, though. All of you should hydrate. I say as I also have very salty potato chips next to me. So if you see me going and grabbing for them, I don't think I want any more right now, but I'm being bad. Yes, potato chips. Plain Ruffles potato chips, apparently me being bad. Don't ask. I don't know who I've become. Monster. Aw, thanks, H-Dog. Literally very, very basic bitch potato chips. They are Ruffles, regular. They're like the weedy guys. I've already had a half gallon. Oh, wow, Jesus. Good on you. I don't know what it is. I just like having the salt. But I like all the ridges and stuff. Anyways. I don't know why. This is what I'm doing. This is my treat right now. I think it's a treat because I can down one of these bags in one sitting if I'm not careful. It's dangerous. No other chip does this to me. I don't mind a lot of flavored chips. Okay, as long as you're compensating for the caffeine. Literally, that's the goal, okay? That is always the goal. But no, I like chips. I like salty things, but I won't eat a ton of them. Ruffles regular are the only things that I will down a stupid amount of in one go. So, you're gonna try not to. But if you see me eating something, that's why. Had about 2 liters, so I'm doing, oh, that's good. Very good. Okay, so we're doing great. I'm just not. He looks up at me and I wonder how such a human exists. He's kind and possibly so, and I find it very hard to believe it could ever be an act. So you have friends here. Why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends? The barmaid hates me. Ah, there we go. I knew there would be a dissenter in the midst. H-Dog, are you okay? Are you okay, H-Dog? That is... Okay. That'll do it. That explains it. Because that feels like a lot more than usual. Have you eaten? Please? Seriously, if you haven't eaten, I swear to God. Drink? Sir. Yeah. BK, that's accurate. Who's actually hydrated? Nobody? No? Oh, never mind. Been proven wrong. H-Dog, is that it? Okay, so half the chat is being real good. Half the chat I have now a lot of concerns over. One of them I can do something about. Thank you. It's still good. H-Dog? H-Dog, please do more than that. Please? Please. I know where you live. I'll take a whiskey. I'm thinking nothing more soothing than something spicy sweet. Whiskey, please. Neat. She turns and wanders off with yet another roll of her eyes, and Ezra poorly stifles a laugh. H-Dog, that's no. Have you eaten? No, you said slice of pizza and 3 venti teas. I feel as though that's not going to be good. It's not even Friday. Friday's your long day. Oh my God. H-Dog's like, continue hydrating so you stop harping on me. Don't take it personally. That's Edna. She's notoriously short. Tea is not unlike food, but it is not the same as food. Kind of like how coffee is also not food. I know. Oh, yes. I love a callback to Boyfriend Dungeon. Oh, my God. Listen. Oh, God. Oh, Sawyer. You sweet, sweet summer child. They are... I miss that game already. I'm aware it's been like, what, a month or two since I finished it? I still miss it. Coffee is the food of the artist, especially... Listen. No, it's non-dairy milk is what has to get added to it. Any of those, then especially your artist. Jeez. All of the creative types have sensitive tummies, okay? That's how this works. Thank you, Edna. Edna grunts, turning on her heel and throwing me a dismissive wave over her shoulder. I'm gonna say she likes me. Oh, really? I can see, here's the thing. I can consume lactose. I just shouldn't. Well, actually, no, it's a lie. It's hit or miss. Some things are worse for me than others. I also refuse to deny myself cheese. Am I going to have cheese later today? Hell yes. I actually think there's something else that it might be. And, like, I think dairy is more of, like, sensitivity. And so as long as it's not super heavy or anything like that, then I'm normally okay. There you go. Lactate hasn't worked for me in a while, but I haven't also touched on a bit either. But I think there's something else in foods that also... Thank you, bot. There's something else, and so I've been meaning to, like, sit down and do a, like, really dig into what I've been eating and stuff. See what it actually is. But no, I will continue to consume cheese until I die. Don't even care. Case in point. I add the deep amber liquid in my glass, savoring the rich smell before I bring it to my lips and take a sip. It may burn as it trickles down my throat, but it's soothing and delicious. Are you okay? You seem tense. I have to solve a murder. It's actually looking for you. I need to tell you something. I obviously do not remember what it is, but I need you to promise me you won't think I'm crazy.
You're talking to someone who lives in Lunaris. Try me.
Take a deep breath and edge closer, checking no one is listening. I visited the graveyard after I left your shop yesterday to see the crime scene. I tried to get a feel for what happened there last night. Ezra leans in, his eyes wide. And? I didn't really get much other than an overwhelming sense of loss, which is, well, quite normal considering the circumstances. People tend to feel such emotions when they're dying. But tonight I went back. Finn was there and I felt something different. Different how, exactly? I heard him. The hunter who died, he spoke to me. Ezra's gaze darts around the tavern. He sits back in his chair, running a hand through his hair. He wipes the look of shock off his face quickly, putting himself to rights. His voice is low when he speaks next, barely a whisper. You sure? It was him. I nod. Positive. He told me to leave and that there's no hope in helping. Ezra leans forward again, pushing his wine glass aside. He's such a classy mofo. Placing his hand upon the table, his fingers are visibly twitching. Alright, and as per usual, we are playing the Romance Everyone playthrough. We will romance everybody until the game tells me I'm not allowed to anymore. So help me God. I am gonna... I mirror his movement and place my hand upon the table beside his, shamelessly needing comfort and contact. Listen, I will probably accidentally romance whoever killed the last hunter, okay? Even if it's not Ezra, chances are I'm gonna accidentally romance whoever did it. This is how I do, this is how I work, okay? Don't judge me. Ezra doesn't hesitate to take it in his own, his skin warm and soft as he squeezes it tightly. Oh, thank God, I just held hands with a vampire otherwise. Hee, look at me. No, look at Nyx. My little bee. She was over here earlier, but... yeah. It actually isn't in the slightest. I am genuinely the most awkward human being. So no. But also yes. I mean, yes. But also, I mean, it's not a bad tactic. Don't judge me. It's a tactic. Actually, I probably should leave it at that. I don't know if it's good or bad. We're going to find out in this game, friends. It's going to be okay. We'll figure this out together. I exhale sharply, feeling like I've been holding my breath ever since I left that graveyard. Thank you, Ezra. I don't know what I'd do without you. I've only known you a few days.
It's okay. I'm used to taking care of people. It's my thing, I suppose. Besides, you're delightful. It's not like it's a chore.
Ezra, have you heard of this concept called compassion fatigue? Sorry, I had therapy last night. So are we pulling out a lot of things from therapy? Maybe. Is it still good? Yes. Anyways. Should I eventually talk to my therapist about my ways of making people confess their crimes? Possibly. Oh, okay. But Ezra, compassion fatigue, you're probably exhausted. Don't do this to yourself. He softens his expression, starts drawing a gentle, soothing circles on the back of my hand with his thumb. Okay, that's sweet. That's actually, like, super soothing. Super comforting. His cheeks darken slightly, and everything about him is impossibly enchanting. Parker, words. Glad you're okay. I'm here for you, always. I'm more grateful than you ever know for that. Another squeeze my hand, and we part reluctantly. Bye! Hello. He's really pretty. Like, those eyes are stunning. Anyways, I also love how many piercings he has. It's cute. So, what now? He curls his fingers around the stem of his glass and sighs deeply.
I don't even know how to unpack this, but I do know that you need to rest. How's your head feeling?
I sigh, pushing my whiskey aside. Still hurting. Ezra fishes around in the pouch that's attached to his belt, retrieving a small vial full of what looks like a strange herb or flower. Listen, this is why this man is actually so useful. Here, crush this into some boiling water and should help with the headache. It's just some feverfew and butterbur. Completely natural, I promise. Listen, drug me. Nope. No. Let's not encourage drugs on this stream. Not in the slightest. We're going to encourage, like, healthy herbal remedies. That is what we're doing. Give me the healthy herbal remedies. I take the vial and tuck it safely in my pocket. Do you have a pharmacy in there? Listen, would not put it past him, but I kind of love that for him. Kind of what should I be if I didn't carry around a cure for a migraine? Not wrong. I should head back to the shop. I left Omen unattended in the kitchen cupboard unlocked. Yeah, no, I decided not to. Look and see progress. I am stopping myself before really stupid things come out of my mouth. That is probably my only one for the night. But, you know, we'll take it. Baby steps. I see a lot of stupid things. It's fun. Left Omen unattended with the kitchen cupboard unlocked. He'll eat me out of house and home. Omen is our cute little demon boy. He reminds me of, like, Sawyer 2.0. Genuinely. Like, fulfilling that archetype of the sweet summer child. That is clearly also trouble. I did check there before I came here. He'd gone into the suites. Shit. And that's definitely my cue to leave. Okay, bye! You want to pay for my drink on the way out?
Whatever you experience today will still have happened tomorrow. I know what you hunters are like. No matter how scary August is, your report can wait until tomorrow.
August isn't scary. He's just a big grumpy boy. That's all he is. I smile up at him as he stands to leave. I promise I'm drained. I need my bed now more than ever. Plus, I need to decide how to put all this into words. This has changed everything for me, hasn't it? Yes, I'm afraid it did. Just... He sighs deeply, resting a hand upon my shoulder.
Be mindful of who you share this information with, okay? There are eyes and ears everywhere.
Good night. Good night, Ezra. I stare out into the window and spot the first snowflake falling from a star-dusted sky. No! No, we do not want snow! Sorry, speaking mostly for myself here. I don't want it to snow. Winter has arrived in Lunaris. Winter is coming in Toronto, too. Let me tell you, I am very terrified. It was nice and warm and beautiful, but I keep hearing it's supposed to get to absolutely freezing very soon. Yeah, no, not ready for snow either. I am like... I feel like we've had a really wonderful fall that's actually lasted for more than 2 weeks, which I am exceptionally grateful for because it's my favorite season. I also know that it's that is just such a bad sign for when it comes to global warming and shit, but no thank you. Oh, this is my room. This is precious. I don't think I got to see this before. My headache is persistent as I lay in bed, but nothing can possibly stop me from falling asleep after the day I've had. That's good. I finished the tea that I made with the flowers Ezra gave me, hoping it begins to take effect. I closed my eyes, but just before... This got loud. Okay, sorry, I'm just gonna... But just before I drift off, the distant whisper. My name was James. And the giant peach? Big same. It was a thought that wouldn't leave my mind. Like, yeah, no. Really nice out. Impending doom. But at least it's nice impending doom. Ugh. I open my eyes to the incessant sound of fists banging on my door. I swear to God, if this is August, I will punch him. My head is still pounding, fuzzy haze settling over me as I drag myself from the relative comfort of my bed and attempt to ignore the ache that has made itself home behind my eyeballs. Those are the worst headaches, I find, when they sit, like, right behind your eyes and they start to flare up through, like, even your sinuses. It's the worst. I blink once, twice, and shit. It's dark? Surely I slept for more than a few hours.
I better hope you're dead in a bloody ditch somewhere.
Oh, look, it's the grumpy boy. Fuck. If you don't open this door in the next 5 seconds, you'll have to pay for a new one. I grimace, thinking that might actually be the preferred option right now. Did I really sleep for a whole day? Well, at least my death will be at the hands of something other than a ghastly creature, I suppose. Small victories. Look out of the window, and it's most definitely past sundown. Lunaris is covered in snow, a pristine blanket of perfect white glistening in the moonlight. Well, shit, guys! We slept an entire day. There are more people in the street than I'd seen the whole time in Lunaris, and they're hanging brightly colored bunting from between the crooked little houses. Oh my God, does this become a Christmas episode?
I have things to do. Important things. I can hear you in there, you know.
Then you know I'm alive, and you let me put on clothes. Thought of opening the door and seeing August ready to tear my head off is less than appealing, especially when I probably look like I've been dragged through a fey nest and left for dead. Gather my wits and shout cheerily as I can muster. We'll be down in 5 minutes. I hear a series of incoherent mumbles from the other side of the door, followed by a clack of heels as they walk away without much of a fight. Get the feeling I am in a lot of trouble. Wonderful. Well, rip. It's been nice knowing you. This has been a great playthrough. I feel like this is where the game ends because August kills me. The wolf is filled to the brim with red-faced patrons, all wearing far fancier outfits than the usual uninteresting garments they tend to sport. Oh, I guess it's a holiday right now. I see August scowling in the corner, but I almost don't recognize them out of their uniform. I want to see this. Get this man out of uniform. Let's go. Get this person out of uniform. Sorry, that was my bad.
We thought you were missing. I almost had a search party sent out for you.
That is the deepest of these, my friend. But that looks so good on you. Look at you. You do clean up. I love the necklaces, actually. Guess what, friends? Listen. We're not inaccurate in this response right now, so let's go with it. I catch myself staring as August impatiently taps their foot, clearly waiting for an apology. They look different, more relaxed, and far more approachable. It certainly doesn't help my growing infatuation with them. They look different. Amazing, actually. Their foot stills, a dark brow raising what I'm hoping is interest.
I do.
Good! Diffusing the situation through romance! Listen, if there's ever an awkward situation, I will either make it more awkward, or that's actually pretty much it. That's how this is going. Excellent. Look at that. Look at that rosy-cheeked face. I smile, bite my lip to prevent it from growing as wide as I'd like to. Yes, you do. You have impeccable taste, General. Thank you. So I had to find a decent tailor in these parts, so He almost forgot that he was mad at me. They almost forgot. They helped their words, narrowing their gaze, apparently suddenly suspicious of my curiosity.
Flattery will get you nowhere. It's certainly not on a day where you've shown yourself up so horribly.
I don't know. It seems like flattery was going to get me somewhere. So gonna disagree with you, dear. I'm really sorry. I didn't do it on purpose. Flattery gets... Oh, yeah, no. Flattery goes everywhere. They raise their hand, silencing me. That's okay. The water's lemon. It's nice. I don't know. Feels good to hydrate. I don't want to hear it. If you had attended this morning's meeting, you'd know there's quite an important event happening this evening. You don't have much time thanks to your tardiness, so please bear with me while I explain.
We are in the middle of a crisis, yes, but the Lunar Festival is unavoidable. Harry thinks that if we postpone or cancel it, the town will erupt into chaos.
I ate a chip thinking you were going to do all the voice work for me, buddy. They need stability now more than ever, and the last thing we need is more panic. Lunar Festival? Love it. Here for it. Let's go. Festival, while there are horrible murders being committed. Trust me, I know it's abhorrent, to be quite honest. It's a yearly tradition that's been around for centuries. One that Harry holds dear. He's been distant lately.
We need our leader back. And if this helps, then I'm willing to play along. And I expect you to do the same. No questions asked, understand?
Get some sleep, Saul. Thank you for hanging out. Have a good night. Rest well. Rest well. We'll see you later. I hardly agree, but people recognize the schedule, they recognize things. Yeah, if there's a plan, people don't panic, and especially if it's something regular and routine. It helps settle them because it gives them a sense of normalcy. So, I hardly agree, and I have more than enough on my mind that I need to figure out. But the look August has given me tells me I have little to no choice. I ponder their question for a little longer than necessary for dramatic effect, feeling them grow impatient. Absolutely anything you need. They relax at that, their pretty eyes bright as they stare me down. Ew, again blushy again. Good.
And between you and me, I personally think it's a complete and utter waste of time and resources. Especially in the middle of such a crisis.
Yes, well, let them have some fun. They sigh heavily, shrugging as if they've already admitted defeat. Alas, it's important to Harry that we stick with said tradition and show the people of Lunaris that everything's exactly as it should be. So, just forget about the horrible murders and my sworn duty to protect and serve people for the night then? Yes, you've got it. And I don't have a choice. Do you ever? Point taken. A rather loud cheer rings from the doorway and August grimaces, running a hand over their face.
The festival itself takes place in the market. Please represent us well, Hunter. All eyes will be on you. And this is the perfect opportunity for you to introduce yourself to the town.
Okay, but hear me out. Is there any way I can get coffee? Because I have just been sleeping for probably nearly a full day. I am probably feeling really drowsy. So anything you can do to help me out would be great. Right? They look me up and down, apparently unsatisfied with my presentation. You'll want to change into something a little more interesting, and I suggest you find someone to escort you. It'd look a little odd having you wander around by yourself. We have to show solidarity. Do you want to... Oh, crap! Game? I do not know if you understand what you're asking of me. I don't make decisions. This is rude. This is mean. Even more so because I don't remember everybody's name right now. This is too many options. Hi, Catsy. This is too many options. This is rude. Okay, I think I remember who everybody is. Okay, August is Sir General Grumps, who we've just been chatting with. I'm gonna go with no there. Alcar is the werewolf. Ezra is the wonderful magician we've already seen tonight. Finn is the vampire boyfriend. Omen is the sweet tooth demon child. Piper is the person is the lovely lady who I put out of a job. That might have been Finn. He had a really deep V. Also, I have saved this game right at this moment. Bless the developers who allowed me to do that. Whereas in Arcade Spirits, I always had to make sure I saved right before a big decision because I wasn't allowed to during it. I also have no idea what impact this has. We're gonna go Vampire Boyfriend. Because remember, he was a deep V for Vampire. That's why. And hopefully we can see other people through the night. And if not, maybe we just replay this with some other options. Or we figure out a way to balance this out. I don't know. I hate that. I have somebody who can show me around. No pressure whatsoever. Very well, just remember all eyes are on you. Yep, thank you. And don't forget to change. I nod, smiling politely. Yes, General. Good evening, Hunter. They tug on an expensive-looking fur coat and head into the chill. I look down at my outfit, sighing as I resign myself to the fact that I should probably change. Did I actually bring decent clothes with me? Who knows? I stand in the street. Oh, look how pretty it is. Sorry, I just love the lanterns. I just do. Stand in the street feeling a little lost. The last time I saw Finn, he was hanging out in the graveyard like all good vampires do, but I'd rather avoid going in there again after what happened last night. The only other idea that pops into my head is to ask Ezra where he can direct me to him. I feel a strange connection to Finn, especially after... Really? Do I? It's literally... I would love to do that, Catsy. Honestly, would make my life so happy. I just want lanterns. Are we... Okay, strange connection fair is not the same as... jumping right into it. Anyways. Unless, of course, you're Finn. Life is short unless you're Finn. Pretty much. I reach the shop, the mage light lantern just flickering and fading as I approach, signaling that its owner is leaving the premises. The door swings open and I'm met by a startled-looking Ezra. Hi, darling. Parker, are you okay? I'm fine. I was just wondering if you'd help me find Finn. His expression relaxes and a sly smile crosses his lips. Oh, of course I can. You'll have to come inside, though. What do you mean by that? Are we having a wardrobe malfunction? Why is everybody here? Omen waits patiently by the counter, smiling shyly at me as I enter. Hi, darling. I guess it's winter. We're not going as deep with the V's right now. Hello, Omen. You coming to the festival with us? Before I can speak, Ezra gracefully interrupts. Nope, Finn. I assume you want him to escort you to the festival. Did Gus request that you attend? I nod and Omen seems confused but enthusiastic nonetheless. I know, I'm a little sad that there's no more Deep V. How did you, and they changed so quickly. Oh, okay, well have fun. Chad is very displeased with this game now. Ezra winks at me, quietly ordering the demon to stay put while he directs me towards the back room. Finn, what are you doing? Ezra stands between the trapdoor that sits in the center of the room, turning to face me, his eyes sparkling. Want to see a trick? A trick? He laughs, bending down to unhook the latch. I almost expect him to cast a spell, but watch and learn. He lays flat on the ground, sticking his head through the pitch-black hole, a startling cold breeze wafting up from underground. It smells damp and old, not exactly appealing. I remember Omen mentioning something about there being catacombs beneath the town, but they weren't marked on the map that I received in my summons. Ezra yells into the hatch. His voice echoes eerily in the darkness. Finnegan! Oh, I forgot that it's Finnegan. It's great. Finnegan, quickly, please. I don't have all night. I stare at him as he stands and runs his hands over his tunic. He'll be along shortly. Would you like me to wait with you? I hear the front door of the shop opening, followed by muffled laughter. Ezra's eyes widen as he grimaces. That's probably my cue to go. Can't leave those two unsupervised for too long. That's something getting broken. Do you mind? Those two? He sighs, throwing me a sorry look. Omen and Alcar. Yeah, not surprised. They seem like troubled children. Alcar likes to tease him, tell him unsavory things that I can't risk him repeating in public again. Oh, good. Unfortunately, Omen isn't fully attuned to the ways of our world just yet, so having a Lycan who enjoys causing trouble around him can lead to some issues. He sounds exasperated, but also looks strangely happy. I can tell he has a lot of affection for his little band of supernatural misfits. That is until a rather loud crash rings out from the shop. Oh dear. I can... Wait, go on. Do you need me to lock up? Would you? Finn knows how. Thank you so much. He grins and there's a knowing look in his eyes. Why does it feel like I chose my romantic attachments very early in this game? He'll keep you leading along. He's quite punctual. See you later. He bids me a quick farewell, leaving me standing in the middle of the room, apparently waiting for a vampire to pop up from under the floorboards. But I don't want to. I don't want to make decisions. This is mean. This is just very rude of the game. Very early. What is my life? I wander over to the countertop while I wait, inspecting the paintings that adorn the walls. The one that sticks out to me the most is a striking portrait of Ezra. He has his eyes closed and he looks so peaceful. It's that one right there. I idly wonder if he did these himself. Do you like them? There you go, chat. I made the best decision. I picked the one with the deepest V, even in the cold of winter. Possibly because he doesn't feel cold and therefore he's just going to be a slut anyways. God, just love you. Cheers to the deep V. That is a gorgeous coat, though. Like, that is pretty. Look at the detail work there. Look at this. I know H-Dog. He's a little pale. Just a little. You did these? He nods, leaning in to inspect his work. He looks dashing in a rather extravagant, well-tailored coat that ends just below his knees. I assume he's dressed like this simply to fit in, rather to keep warm. The dangerously low cut of his shirt fully confirms my theory.
I did. It's a silly hobby of mine. You tend to have many hobbies when you have eternity stretched out before you.
Oh, sweetheart. You're very... Yes, romance options. Let's go. They're beautiful. You're quite talented, you know? His arm brushes mine as he steps closer, and I try not to shiver.
I've had centuries of practice, so I could probably serve to be a little better. But I find myself lacking a muse lately. My inspiration is gone.
Oh, you need a muse, do you? He reaches out to trace his fingertip over the petal of one of the white anemones that takes pride of place in something in a smaller painting. Words are overrated. That's a shame. Listen, we went for the old one, okay? He shrugs as if he's unbothered, but the sly smile that curls at his lips hints at something else. He turns to meet my gaze, and I'm still caught off guard by the startling brightness of those golden eyes. I idly wonder if I'll ever get used to them.
Though I'm sure I'll find one soon.
What are you implying, sir? Sir, what's that? What are you implying there? Then a wolfish grin affords me a quick glance of his fangs, but before I can get too lost in them, he turns and heads for the front of the shop. Gather my wits and follow him. Well, we picked quite the guide for tonight. Whoops. Finn locks the shop with practiced ease, placing his iron palm flat against the door, the markings thrummed to life for the briefest moments. A faint, magical shimmer rolling over the weathered wood. What was that? Finn joins me on the street and flexes his fingers of his prosthetic.
Ezra uses wards to protect the shop, just to be cautious. There's plenty of nasty little things lurking around here who would quite like to get their hands on his wares.
Yeah, not surprised. Plus, it's just another handy little trick this thing can do. Another? What are you implying with your hand, sir? What are you implying? Does it have a vibration setting? Is that what you're implying right now? Anyways. I have questions. So many questions. Anyways, he raises a dark eyebrow at me, sticking his hands in his coat pockets. Yeah? That's for me to know. Get your stone cold ass back here, sir. I scoff playfully, picking up my pace to catch up with him as he attempts to hide his smirk by wandering ahead. So how many of these lunar festivals have you attended? fall in step with him, finding myself strangely transfixed with how human he can be in moments like this. Let's see. I think I lost count a few decades ago, to be honest. We'll just go with a lot. See, I also went with the most experienced individual with these festivals, so we'll run with that. How about that? I'm assuming. We have made attempts to touch the booty. I'm fairly certain. If we haven't, I'm disappointed. Listen. Listen. Also, he's freezing cold, so I'm assuming all parts of him are. There's so many things I long to ask him, but I wonder how boring it must get for someone who has lived as long as him to tell the same stories over and over again. So you really live under town. How big is your clan?
13, including me. So, relatively small. And yes, there are catacombs that run right beneath us. It's quite cozy down there, actually.
So you live in a bunch of basement apartments that are all interconnected. Actually, that'd be really cool. Sorry. I crinkle my nose at him, earning a laugh.
Hey, don't look at me like that. It is, I swear. We take full advantage of the fact that we have somewhere safe and comfortable to live during daylight hours without confining ourselves to caves or boarded up dives.
I'm sure you're the envy of all the other clans. They mostly despise us. We aren't quite murderous or hungry enough for them. Oh, are you close with any of your clan members? He promptly stops walking, his boots scuffing against the icy cobblestones. Close. Clear my throat, shrugging and trying to brush it off. I know what I meant, but I think he does too. You know, intimate. I haven't heard of many vampires who don't have mates, especially those who are clan leaders. He stares me down.
I don't have a partner right now, no. I can't say I'm interested in getting into relationships with my own kind.
Is that because they also live forever and that's just a really long time to have an ex for? Isn't that lonely? His laugh is noticeably tinged with a little sadness.
There are many ways to cure loneliness. However, being immortal is inherently lonely, regardless of your relationship status.
So, if you don't favor other vampires in that way, what species do you prefer to seek the company of? He starts walking again, tipping his head for me to follow.
Humans, of course.
Listen, this is the playthrough where we just pick the hard options. He tilts his head, carefully nudging me with his elbows. He steps a little closer. I bite my lip, trying to stop an idiotic smile from spreading across my face. Well, it's just lucky that I happen to be human. What a coincidence! He moves to stand in front of me, walking backward, a shit-eating grin on that infuriatingly handsome face.
Quite lucky indeed.
Are we surprised, though? I feel like nobody should be surprised. Feel like we know where these games go with me. I try to avert my gaze and step ahead slightly, but he follows me with a smile, one that has heat creeping onto my cheeks, even in this impossible cold. Aren't you supposed to be escorting me, not teasing me?
But you're so easy to tease. I do enjoy making you blush. The color suits you.
Mm-hmm. I roll my eyes, stopping dead in my tracks, earning a laugh from him. I'm not blushing, it's freezing. Apparently I'm a liar now. He reaches for my wrist, his long fingers curling around it, his thumb pressed against my fluttering pulse. His gaze flickers to the point of contact, and then back to my face, my skin somehow alight even underneath his cool touch. He's asking for permission. I nod, granting it to him. He turns my hand over in his own, my palm facing up. He traces the lines, head, life, sun, fade, and hard, and watches me intently as he does so. Are you reading? Are we doing a palm reading now? How long do I live? What? You gotta let me know.
You know, I can feel every hitch in your breath, every rush of blood in your veins. The steady and not so steady beats of your heart. There's no hiding from me, Hunter.
Never said I was hiding. I was trying to be an asshat. That's all. Clear my throat, finding it hard to form words. His touch is so painfully gentle it almost aches. No hiding, He pauses over my pulse, pressing a little harder, feeling it protest against his
My
fingertips.
instincts are not something I can switch off. But you really have no reason to hide. I'm not going to hurt you. Unless you ask nicely.
It's kind of why I like him. He slowly releases me, guiding my hand back to my side, and I miss the contact the moment it's gone. You're impossible. With a shrug, he's moving onward, his hands back in his pockets. He throws me a look over his shoulder, something soft and affectionate.
Humans.
Yes, what about us? We are a thing. Oh, look at it. Look at the cute thing. Look at the background. I love the background art of this. The festival is overflowing and teeming with life and laughter as we push our way into the crowds and gather around the colorful stalls. I stay close to Finn, amused to see townsfolk enthusiastically waving and smiling at him. You're quite popular, aren't you? He shrugs, a hand hovering close to my wrist as he guides me through.
We offer the town protection, so most of them tend to be quite grateful to us. There are some who are less than thrilled about my presence, though, so don't be fooled.
We finally find a break in the crowd to move and stand near the edge of the market where we can see the docks clearly. It's mostly the older residents who are hesitant to trust me, and I don't really blame them. Why wouldn't they trust you? Do you only prey on old people? It feels slightly ageist of you, especially considering you were also the old person. Technically. He looks away, flexing his fingers, the magic that flows through his iron arm fluttering with the movement.
Because I'm still a vampire. The former head of my clan, my sire, was not interested in offering the town any kind of protection. Though we did not hunt near here, word travels.
Okay, no, you know what, H-Dog? Fair. We should not shame Mr. Deep V. Deep V is for vampire. Anyways, we'll run with it. I let the silence between us linger, giving him a moment before he's turning to me with his trademark toothy grin. Let me show you how Lunarians do things, shall we? What do you mean by that? He holds out his arm. I take it without hesitation. I really should have hesitations! Then Piper emerges from the crowd, stopping us both in our tracks. She's armed, albeit subtly, and her smile is friendly as she approaches.
Well, well. What have we here? You get the attention of all the pretty ones, don't you, Casimir?
Hi, gorgeous. That is a stunning coat, though. What is with this place in coats? It seemed odd for a vamp to off the old fair, yeah, right? Why is everyone so pretty? Also, she got the memo of sticking with the deep V. Don't know what's wrong with the other ones.
Hello, Piper.
Pretty ones?
Ignore her. She's just bitter that Willenheim has her doing grunt work tonight. Isn't that right, Merriman?
Everyone else gets a night off, and yet here I am, shouting at drunkards for getting too handsy with the sweet stand.
That is brutal. Finn is clearly amused by her bad mood, and she throws him a glare, but her lips curl into a smile. I get the impression these two are friendly. What are you two up to? What are you up to anyways? What are you two up to? Anyway, what are you two up to? Oh my god, I could not speak. It's fine. I said all the words, just not in the right order. Going to show them your dingy underground lair, Casimir. Finn rolls his eyes. The catacombs are no less dingy than the hovel you call home, I'm sure. I'm sure they're both lovely? Piper snorts, elbowing Finn in the ribs. I prefer to stay above ground. Those tunnels give me the creeps.
Well, you give us the creeps. So I guess we're even, aren't we?
Says the dead man.
I do like their banter. They're cute. Are you really working tonight, Piper? Going to take that as a yes. Yes, and I'd better get back to it, actually. No doubt Willenheim is on the lookout, just dying for me to fuck up. Are you implying Willenheim is gonna die? Are you the murderer? It's nice seeing you both. Enjoy the rest of the evening. Piper waves as she departs, shouting loudly as she
Fingers
goes.
crossed for no horrible murders.
Hey, Jen. How's it going? Get in the water going. I don't know why I said It's good. It's not yummy, I guess. It's very neutral. But that's how water is. Anyways, I digress. Hi, friend. How's it going? How you doing? Finn huffs the laugh, shaking his bread incredulously. There we go. You two are friends, then. He shrugs. I suppose she's all right. She doesn't bother us. She's good at understanding we mean no harm. I think you two are quite similar, actually, so it makes sense.
Being compared to worse. I'll take it. At least she can hold her liquor. Come on, let's have a look around.
Oh no, has the cold already hit you? Ugh. He insists on showing me his favorite stall, one that overflows with a selection of beautiful parchments, colorful inks, and sketchbooks. He enthusiastically points out which notebook he purchased for Omen when he saw him scribbling on the back of Ezra's shop records one day. Cute. We turn the corner and find an exasperated Ezra perusing the herbalist's stall, bickering with the sour-faced woman that owns it. Finn smiles, approaching him quietly, placing a hand upon his back to announce his presence. I do that when I'm approaching people. It's not on their back, but it's like their shoulder, like behind their shoulder. Is there a problem? Ezra turns, visibly relaxing when he sees him. They're all so cute together. Nothing other than her trying to stiff me for her shoddy Angelica route. He mutters something under his breath and hands over his coin, stuffing the goods into his pocket. Sorry about that. I apparently take the price of goods a bit too seriously sometimes. Are you two enjoying yourselves? Finn looks at me expectantly, raising a scarred brow and question. Of course. How can I not with such wonderful company? Glad to hear it. I'd better dash. I left Omen and Alcar at the docks to save a spot for the fireworks. Is that a good idea? Alcar probably has him halfway to Trius by now. I laugh, but it's probably true. Shit. I'll go and see if I can find them. I've already confiscated chocolate from Omen twice now. He just can't resist, can he? No matter how much he complains about his tongue tingling. Oh, is he allergic? Is that what's happening here? Oh, my life. Enjoy the fireworks. I hear they'll be quite impressive this year. He glances at Finn and winks playfully. Behave you.
Don't I always?
What are you implying? If you say so. Goodbye, you two.
Would you like to watch the fireworks? We don't have to. They're not exactly impressive, and I've seen them more than a few times in my lifetime. But if you want...
Romance option? Oh! What else do you have in mind? Guess where we're going, friends? Oh, my life. Anyways. What else? What would you do if you weren't here with me? Oh, we asked that a different way. Oh, I see. He ponders my question for a moment, scuffing his boots on the ground as he steps closer.
Let's go for a walk. I want to show you my favorite place here in Lunaris. It's not far. Come on.
Why are you a precious little artsy boy? Why are you so sweet? He takes me down to the beach, and it's small and not exactly something you would expect to see in a town like Lunaris. But the water that gently laps against the shore is soothing. I can see why he likes it here.
I come here often. It's one of the only places that I can find a little peace, other than the graveyard.
When was the last time you saw the sun? I almost immediately regret asking that question because why am I an idiot?
Oh, just a good 660-something years ago, give or take. But that's okay, because I have places like this that still look wonderful in the darkness. And good company helps too.
He stands close, our fingertips brushing. I shiver at the feel of his cold skin, craving that contact. Yeah, I know. Sun hasn't really shifted that much, but H-Dog, I have a feeling that your comment about him needing to get some sun, probably not happening anytime soon. If he's managed this long without it, I mean, I don't see him going back to it. Thank you for showing me. It's lovely. He hums his agreement, and we stand in silence for a little while, the noise of the festival a distant murmur. I rove my eyes over his face, the milky glow of the moonlight spilling over his cheeks, and his dark lashes flutter as he stares up the stars. It's really pretty. Like, this is... Okay, like, actually, kudos to whoever did the background art for this game, because it's, like, the environment art is so good. My heart stutters in my chest. I don't know why, but I get such a... I love good background art. Kind of like me with Arcade Spirits and how I literally have one of it as my desktop on my computer still. My heart stutters in my chest, and I think back to his words earlier on, knowing that he's heard it. I wonder what it sounds like to him. Is it a rush, a quickening, a desperate thrum? Do I sound like I'm having a panic attack? Who knows? Is it oddly slow and I should go see a doctor? That's just it. I feel like a vampire who can hear this shit would be really helpful for, like, healthcare reasons. Because, like, hear me out. What if? What if you could hear me having a panic attack or, like, having heart issues, heart palpitations or something? I don't know. Anyways. A smirk hooks the corner of his mouth, but he doesn't turn to meet my gaze. Fireworks burst across the sky. Ah! Sparks scattering wildly, and Finn looks as otherworldly as he truly is as his sharp features are bathed in ever-shifting colors. I look skyward, and it's only as I avert my gaze that I feel him looking at me. Beautiful. His next words are soft.
Beautiful.
I feel his fingers reach for mine, my breath stuttering as I meet his touch willingly. Not even the ice-cold chill of his skin could cool the impossible heat that I feel in this moment. Really? Because we should get alcohol, because we're probably going to get hypothermia at the rate we're going. I don't know if we dress properly to be out in this weather. The fireworks stop and the crowd cheers, and then there's perfect silence. Nothing but him and I, the gentle sound of the waves lapping against the shore. My gaze drops to our loosely entwined fingers and up to meet burning gold. With little thought and very little hesitation, we both lean in until our lips are but a breath apart. Smoochies? Do we get the smoochies today? Are we getting the smooch? Then, smoochies. If it's not smoochies, so help me. This game is mean. This game is mean. First, it makes me make decisions and choose between people. And now, I don't get smoochies. I get screaming. Because apparently someone's probably dead. This game is mean. Blood curdling and awful in the distance. Yeah, that sounds like a murder scream. Fuck. Look at them all. Look at the kids. I love them. I like that we get that little image, though. It's so cute. Whoa, wait, what? Hold up, we're saving. Any dialogue options labeled fight in this chapter lead to scenes with violence and gore. Oh, okay, content warnings. We get to fight. This is where I die. Remember how I joked earlier that August was going to kill me? No, I think that what's going to happen now instead is I will, unfortunately, screw up here. Cold winter whips against my skin as I run as fast as I can, sinking deeper into the ominous woodland that surrounds Lunaris. I'm hot on Piper's heels. She's determined and hyper-focused, as am I. There's nothing like the hunt. The way my instincts drive every feeling, my senses sharpened to a knife's edge, my every thought is fixated on winning and only winning, and not the smoochies, apparently. Do not feel represented by this character. I can think of nothing else but smoochies. I mean, finding the source of the distress. A terrible sense of dread swirling deep in my gut. The woods are teeming with every hunter and enforcer Lunaris has to offer, each and every one of us silently hoping that this isn't what we think it is, except for it probably is. This isn't the fifth victim that we've all been expecting. Another one of our comrades targeted and slain so brutally. Listen, if Piper's fine, we're good. And without an apparent motive. Killed simply for doing their job protecting humankind. My feet pound the frost crisp grass. Try saying that. Tall trees with gnarled branches that curl inward like talons. Almost naked from winter's grass blooming high above us. No, that would be so sad. Actually, half my brain is like, is August dead? Actually, because if Piper's running, but that's the only one that's been mentioned that I know of. Maybe Harry's dead, the one that I thought was the murderer this whole time. I spot eyes glowing in the darkness and quickly realize they're carved messily into the rickety tree trunks, so they glow ominously as another gust of wind blows. I swear I see them like, why are the trees haunted? Why? Why? Do not like this. I make a mental note to remind myself to return to investigate, though I'm sure they're nothing new, not in a town like this. Piper skids to a stop, her fingers diligently hovering just above the handle of each of her daggers that sit safely in the holster at her back. Aw, yeah, babe. Look at her. Look at her. Did you hear that? A quiet but obvious whisper echoes amongst the trees, a pained groan from something unquestionably inhuman from a creature. I did. Her fingers twitch and so do mine. Eyes narrowed, every sense razor sharp and zoned in on that singular point.
Feels young and inexperienced. It's beneath our skill level. Beneath us.
Okay. She says it with such confidence, but her guard is still firmly up. God, she's pretty. The duo of wide-eyed hunter sergeants that have been ordered to tail us arrive at our sides, their cheeks rosy from the harsh bite of the wind. Major? Piper opens her mouth to respond, but she pauses looking to me.
Rank here, General. Do we move on and let these two handle it? Or do you fancy working out some tension?
Let's go, baby. Okay, here. Listen. We are choosing the smoochy answers. We are choosing the fight answers, okay? We are... This is apparently... Okay, so I guess content warning. Violence and gore incoming. So if you need to step away, go ahead. I could always do with working out a little tension.
That's what I was hoping you'd say. I haven't had a good fight in what feels like forever.
I don't know. I think because we were looking for the deepest V-neck. And that's why. Listen, the problem is I was made to choose. And I couldn't choose all. And therefore... Okay, I stretch. Oh, God. Do you ever just have all of your body parts crack all of a sudden? Should stretch before fighting. You were not wrong. Don't want to cramp up. You're not incorrect. I also went to the gym this morning, so my body is like, LOL, you're a dumbass. Okay. Everybody else also stretch. Everyone playing the home game. Yeah, they do like the yes. Sure they do. It's a bunch of yoga poses that are like that. I have no idea. When was the last time you watched a lion that intently? Unless you're a big avid fan of National Geographic, in which case, okay, cool. That's what I'm hoping you'd say. I haven't had a good fight in what feels like forever. I turn to address the sergeants. Continue heading for the rendezvous point. If you encounter General Willenheim, tell him we're on their way. They nod a little too eagerly and run onward. I hope that's not me accidentally sending them to their death. That would be terrible. The hairs on the back of my neck rise the second they're out of sight. My body is gearing up for a fight, adrenaline coursing generously through my veins. Close my eyes and clear my mind. I can hear the steady, assured thrum of Piper's heartbeat, the quiet rustle of the grass, the leaves rustling in the trees. And then I feel it. What do we feel? A vampire, a youngling. Fuck. I feel like this is probably an interesting life choice. Her aura is frantic and skittish. She is only just awoken. She's hungry and scared. She's trying to hide. I smile. We're out quite far. I always used to find younglings in this area. She can likely sense that there's a clan here, either seeking guidance or an easy meal. It's too dangerous to let her live. She's unstable. And then we kill her. The youngling emerges from the tree line, her vivid crimson irises surrounded by a blackened sclera. Her eyes flicker wildly as she lumbers towards us, unfocused and impossibly unsteady on her feet. This should be easy. She's clearly deprived of blood. Dark, vining veins surround her wild eyes and creep down her pale cheeks. She wears no shoes, her feet black with mud, and her clothing is torn and saturated with blood, most of it likely her own. Her death was obviously not a merciful one. She's quite clearly been left to navigate her rebirth by herself. And this never ends well. Ends in the slaughter of innocent lives. Her lips curl menacingly to reveal sharp fangs that she's clearly still getting used to, and she lunges at us without hesitation. Block. I block her attack without a second thought, sending her staggering. I know without a doubt she doesn't stand a chance, not against me, not against Piper, and certainly not against us together. The youngling screeches, a deafening sound that leaves my eardrums crackling, but we relent. She tries again, shrieking as she attempts to attach herself to Piper's neck with her fangs bared. Piper glanced at me with a certain ferocity burning in her gaze, our twin instincts sizzling, itching for a kill.
Not today, sweetheart.
Piper kicks her square in the chest, sending her hurtling towards me. After a swift elbow to the face, which leaves her stunned, I grab her about her waist and tackle her to the forest floor. I seat myself upon her back, and Piper quickly assists, holding her arms steady where she tries to claw at me. Jesus! The youngling thrashes and screams as I forcefully grab her hair, yanking her head back. Piper stares her down, shaking her head.
Get her out of her misery.
Rip. We work in tandem to remove her head clean from the body. Oh, okay! It's the only way, however violent it may be. I feel a warm spray up against my skin, the unmistakable smell of copper permeating the air. Cool! Decapitation, my friends! That is what we have done today. This is a time. This is a time. I'm kind of glad they don't show it, but I'm also like, I wish there was something going on here, you know? The visceral sound of tearing flesh and breaking bone fills the clearing. Yeah, well, it's going to. Then she turns into nothingness beneath me. Wait, what? An unrecognizable pile of blood and viscera, yet another human life stolen and twisted into something evil. You got just a little, let me fix that for you. Well, that was fun. I brush the dirt from my knees and take a deep breath, watching Piper clean off her bloody daggers on the grass. We should really get going. She turns to face me, and I spot that her face is covered in a dark splattering of crimson. Thank you. Let me get that for you. Listen, I don't think I made a final game-making decision yet, folks. I think we can still do all the hearts for all the people. We just got a date out of it with Finn, that's all. We got time. We can still date everybody. It's fine. Parker, why are you like this? Anyways. Take a tentative step forward. Her eyes quickly flicker to my face. You have a little something. I do. I nod, stepping closer again, unable to stifle the smile that threatens to curl at my lips as she stares me down. Right here. I touch the tip of her nose and then each of her cheeks. May I? She arches a brow at me, her eyes sparkling wickedly. You may. She tilts her head and waits expectantly, a hand resting upon her cocked hip. I reach out and brush my thumb over the apple of her full freckled cheeks, wiping away the still wet blood. It smears, so I press a little harder, grimacing as I make even more of a mess of her face. We're gonna make it, it's like blush now. We can totally use blood for blush, right? That is 100% what I am capable of. Totally, that is 100% how makeup works. You cannot tell me otherwise. She huffs a quiet laugh. I can tell she was attempting to swallow. And she grabs my wrist and reels me in.
Come on, put your back into it.
Listen. I'm trying. I laugh as Piper uses the sleeve of my coat to roughly wipe her face clean, leaving her cheeks a delightful rosy red. There we go. How do I look? I inspect the damage to my sleeve with a sigh as I register the blood stains. It's certainly not the worst mess I've been in. Hydrogen peroxide, that'll fix it. Positively ravishing as always. Arse. Clear my throat, enchanted by the way her eyes crinkle at the corners when she laughs. I mean it, even covered in blood. I know you mean it.
Get going. August will be having an absolute bitch fit.
Oh, we couldn't have that, could we? Not dear August. Not dear Gusty Goo. Or Gus. Gus, that's what he gets called. That's what they get called. Piper tilts her head to the side, a loud crack in her bones. Yeah, that sounds right. As her bones click back into their rightful place. Let's dash. It's easy to tell what we're dealing with as we draw near the scene. Dozens of hunters and enforcers of varying ranks saturate the small clearing, the majority of them still dressed in their festival attire, much like Piper and I. Although mine is now covered in blood. Thank you, Piper. We spot a retrieval team emerging from the tree line. Their faces are pale and drawn. It's them that I know. They didn't make it.
You're here.
Look at that coat. It's so floofy. August. That's a very floofy coat, my friend. We are. We ran into some trouble along the way, but we took care of it. I gather that's why you're so late. It's fine. Obviously, such things cannot be prevented.
It's not good news, as I'm sure you can tell.
My heart sinks. I knew, but hearing it out loud is still unpleasant. Do we have an identity? They shake their head, brushing the front of the fur coat that I'm sure they're less than happy about wearing in such a
We cannot
situation.
identify them.
Their voice catches.
There is no body. Again, nothing but. Well, I don't need to repeat such monstrous details.
Ooh.
Reports from the previous murders. Much of the same ghastliness.
But, like, what actually does remain? I have to wonder. Piper scoffs, her shoulders tensing. I swear I can see tears in her eyes. She's hurting and angry. So angry that I can feel it. Goose flesh. Goose flesh. As opposed to, was it goosebumps? Prickles across my skin thanks to our close proximity, and my own emotions waver with the sheer force of it. This is fucking ridiculous.
This cannot keep happening, August.
I have been here only a handful of days. I'm so sorry. I failed. I flinched, feeling the surge of energy as August reacts. The smell of ozone is suddenly thick in the air. There's a flash in the darkness, and violet sparkles crackle about their clenched fist, their eyes alight.
Thank you, Piper, for your input. I didn't know this was upsetting. I assumed everyone was enjoying this.
Listen. You can calm down, okay? Grumpy Gus, you can just calm down. A dozen eyes turn to look at them, and they quickly calm themselves. August looks beyond exhausted as always. The skin beneath her eyes is purple, their cheeks drawn. Piper opens her mouth to retaliate, but wisely decides against it. This actually may be the first time I've seen her look guilty. August averts their gaze as if they can't bear to look at her. They're upset
I
too.
suggest you keep your thoughts to yourself in such a situation. Unless you have any useful insight.
Probably not, but you know. It's not a question.
Yes. Sorry, General.
Thought as much. We're all hurting, Piper. It's not just you. August sighs deeply, sparing us both a woeful glance before they address the gathered forces.
Hunters, any mages present will patrol the immediate area. Generals will head further afield and begin an extensive perimeter search. I want no stone unturned here. Any juniors need to get the hell out of here. You're not equipped to even think about dealing with whatever this thing is. And I won't be responsible for your demise. Anyone else present is to report back to headquarters immediately. We'll need people on the ground in order to reassure the townsfolk. I don't want this causing widespread panic. It's damage control time.
There's a quiet, subdued mumble of yes, General, as they all dutifully begin to obey August's orders, disappearing in various directions. Would you like me to join the perimeter search? No, I'd like you to go home. Leave this to the others. We need you ready for anything that may transpire overnight. Of course. Piper fidgets, uneasy. What? You're a major, aren't you? If you were listening, you'll know what I asked of you. Yikes! These two are not getting along at this point. Ooh. Awkward. Of course, General. She should have expected such a response, and I wonder if she'll ever learn. Or maybe she's hoping to rile them up. I still can't tell. She throws me a quick, pitiful glance before she glares at August and turns to join her comrades. Later. August massages their temples, inhaling sharply. I notice that their hands are trembling, and I unconsciously take a step towards them, fearful that they might pass out. They hold out their hand. I'm fine, really. General.
I appreciate your concern, Hunter, really. Anything that ails me is my fault and mine alone.
Sounds fake, but okay. Now please head back. I meant it when I said I need you rested.
You'll be the first to hear if anything significant happens. I'll send a messenger to retrieve you when the victim has been identified.
Okay. Of course, good night and stay safe. If you think I'm staying out here in this for another second, you're sorely mistaken. I have a mountain of paperwork the size of Owlbeck on my desk. Farewell. I guess it's bedtime. I take a final look at the scene where the Enforcer witches have cast their mage lights over a bloodied patch of grass, leaving them to their work no matter how much I long to investigate. After that outburst, it's best not to question my Enforcer's request. Yeah, no fair. Bow my head before I turn, eager to get out of there. As I head back through the woodland, I notice how eerily silent it is. A strange sense of calm washes over me then. A whisper. Harry. I stop dead in my tracks, my hand hovering over my weapon. I see nothing, feel nothing, no matter how hard I try to concentrate. Then I realize That voice, the familiar subdued ache that begins to creep into my temple. James? You deserve to know. The pain ebbs and flows, my breathing growing unsteady, almost as if something weighs heavily upon my chest. The fleeting, comforting calm that just settled over me as snatches, his voice continues to echo in my mind. Know what? I'm sorry. A sharp, burning pain shoots up along my spine and I fall to the ground. The snow-covered grass is wet beneath my fingertips. Cool! This sucks for me. His words were cut off after a moment. I'm yet again surrounded by a blissful silence. Fucking ghosts. I drag myself to my feet and I only have one thing on my mind, one thing I must do. Visit the Lieutenant General and find out what the hell is happening to me. After having no luck finding him in his own office, I head to the only other place I assume he may be at this hour. The door to August's office is thankfully ajar, so I peek around the frame, finding Harry standing alone. He has a report in hand, his coat hung on the back of August's chair. He looks exhausted, his eyes red-rimmed. However, when he notices me, he still offers me a bright, earnest smile. This is the man I think is the murderer.
To see you safe.
This is the man who I think is the murderer because he doesn't have a V-neck. He is not showing any skin, and therefore I don't trust him. I don't know why that's the metric of trust we're running with today, friends, but that is what we're doing. My throat feels tight, and I can't quite place why. James is doing a good job of making it difficult for me to stop thinking about him. The pain I felt from his final moment was raw like an exposed nerve. For some reason, and I think of it, I now think of Harry. I need to know why he wanted me to come here, why everything seems to point back to the man standing before me. I need to tell you something, bud. I need you to promise that you won't think I've totally lost my mind. Listen, in this game at least, okay? Harry narrows his gaze, nodding once. Don't fire me over what I'm about to tell you, okay? I visited the graveyard a few days ago while I was getting my bearings. He stays silent, but I can't help but notice the way his knuckles bleed white as he tightens his fist. I felt an overwhelming sense of grief there. Pain, a yearning for lost love, a sense of failure, a crippling sorrow. I thought nothing of it at the time. It's not unheard of for those that have been murdered to feel scared or sentimental in their final moments, in my experience. But Harry drops his gaze, his bright eyes sad and edged with tears. My words threaten to catch in my throat, but I relent. The other night I visited again. It was almost like something was pulling me there. I heard more, not just a memory this time. He spoke to me. He looks as though he's seen a ghost. He stares at me wide-eyed, quickly swiping at his cheeks.
James.
You know this man. I get the horrible feeling that he's been waiting for this. I need to know. He nods, clearly understanding, then he takes a deep, shuddering
James
breath.
was assigned as my very first hunter the moment we both graduated at 18. He'd shown remarkable promise in school, basically skipping all of the junior nonsense that they force on you.
And let me guess, you two were madly in love.
I, too, had impressed, so we were placed together in the hopes that we'd become unstoppable. We were inseparable in the field together for decades, until I took this post as Lieutenant General.
Yeah? A pause, another deep breath, one that shakes.
But, as well as being my subordinate, he was also my partner.
Called it! Love that! Love that for me.
My husband.
Oh, shit. Okay, maybe I don't think you're guilty anymore. Now I just think you're a sad man who lost his husband. Fuck. Well, I'm all out of suspects. I don't know. My heart sank, spile rising in my throat. I read countless reports about him and the infamous Hunter Lane over the years, but I never knew his first name or anything about him other than his incomparable work. Official records tend to omit personal details for the safety of the hunter or enforcer in question unless they become a leader like Harry. They're inimitable. Sorry, I'm not good. Words are hard, friends. Inimitable. There we go. The best of the best. Together they killed some of the most nefarious creatures in our history. Without question, every young trainee aspires to be just like Hunter Lane. To think that he's just gone and what Harry must be going through. I'm so sorry. I had no idea.
For nearly 10 years, yes. But we'd known each other forever.
Well, shit.
I
failed the hunter initiation quite dramatically, and he was taken away to his father's home country to train to become what I always dreamed of becoming. Life had other plans for me, but we still found each other in the end.
That's cute.
He used to joke that we were destined. The romantic fool. I really don't think it's sunk in that he's gone just yet.
Oh no. Friends, why is my streams just full of feels? First it was Sophia and her dead parents on Tuesday, and now this?
I keep thinking he's going to walk through my door, covered head to toe in blood and grime, with a stupid, wonderful grin on his face.
Oh. I notice how his eyes light up when he talks about him.
They say that people deal with grief differently, but I haven't quite figured mine out just yet. I apologize for not telling you, but it was important to me that I could trust you first. My judgment has been impaired, I'll admit it, though this turn of events isn't exactly what I expected.
So, just to confirm though, not firing me, right? Right. We're good with that? We can run with that? Okay, cool. Thank you.
All I can think about now is justice. About the others that died before him and what we could have done to stop it. What I could have done to stop it.
Forgive yourself. What did he tell you when he spoke to you? His words waver and he mindlessly fiddles with his wedding band. Oh, baby. Eagerly awaiting my response. I think about what Ezra said about being careful who I share this with. Did that warning apply to the Lieutenant General of all of Iskria? Yes. Shit. I'll be honest, I think I'm gonna lie. I still don't trust this mofo. I don't trust this guy. Also, I no longer think he did it, but I do think he screwed some stuff up, and therefore... He just told me his name, nothing more. He did try to say anything of substance I didn't hear. I see. He studies my face, and I wonder if he can tell I'm hiding something. Stand my ground, my expression solid.
Find Augustus. They can help. They specialize in psionic magic, and this certainly falls into that category, I assume. Trust no one else with this, do you understand?
I nod, feeling immensely guilty that I refrained from telling him the whole truth, but think I need to keep this close to my chest. At least for now. Maybe when this whole thing becomes unraveled, we can then share some secrets, but like... I will. Silence hangs heavy between us, and I don't quite know what to say next. He looks devastated, understandably. He must have so much on his mind already with the latest murder and now this. The way he came alive when he spoke about James didn't go unnoticed. I wonder if maybe talking about him would lift his mood. Probably not, though. There's a lot of hunters out there that can only aspire to be half as brilliant as Hunter Lane. I would love to hear what he was like, if you don't mind. Somber expression disappears, and he seems to brighten up a little.
He was a cocky son of a bitch, but it worked well for him in the field.
Wow, okay.
He was never careless, though. I often found myself watching him instead of paying attention to whatever was attacking us. Luckily, he could fight well enough to protect us both, or I'm sure we'd have been in trouble. A lot of enforcers choose to stay cooped up in a stuffy office away from all that danger. Working with James made me not want to miss a thing.
He digs into his coat pocket, retrieving his wallet and pulling a small weathered photo. He pauses, staring me down as if he has reservations, but then hands it over. Oh, they're so cute together. Well, shit. Story got sad,
We were
friends.
unbearable to be around, I'm sure.
I study the genuine smiles, the way their fingers are laced together. I may not know James aside from the voice in my head, but I feel a strange connection to him as if I've known him forever. Thank you for showing me. He tucks the photo back into its place right beside a neatly folded up letter.
Well, apparently he appears to have taken a liking to you. It's only fair for you to put a face to the name, I suppose.
Appreciated. He stares down at his hand, once again twisting his wedding band. His expression is neutral when he meets my gaze, but in a split second his disposition shifts to the stiff formality I'm so used to seeing when dealing with figures of authority. I gather that our conversation about his dearly departed is over.
What happened tonight could have been prevented. It's unacceptable that we were so aware of the looming threat, and yet we let our guard down and lost another life. This cannot happen again.
I nod, agreeing wholeheartedly, but I cannot shake the feeling that, yes, this could have been prevented if it weren't for the festival. The festival he was so adamant that went ahead despite others' clear apprehension, including August. I think better of pressing the matter. Harry suddenly doesn't seem like a man willing to admit faults. Did you speak to the twins as I requested? I did, and I'm sure you expected, I didn't get much out of them. A quiet helm, which I think is an indifferent agreement, and Harry sighs heavily. They are rather adept at both lying and sheer avoidance. I am interested in speaking to the brother alone, though. There's something off about him, like he just didn't want to be there. I also came across the letter outside the building, one that was addressed to him. The language looked demonic. Harry nods, indifferent. I wonder if he even heard me. He clears his throat and flicks his eyes to the side as though he has no interest in humoring me anymore.
There's nothing more you can do here until we've identified the victim. Get some rest. It's late. You're dismissed, Hunter.
Okay, bye. Is this for realsies? Because I feel like I've had several people tell me to go to bed and I haven't yet. Though I'm used to being addressed in such a manner, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't perplexed by the shift in his demeanor. I chalk it down to grief. No, I chalk it up to suspicion. I'm suspicious of this man. We're back to being very suspicious of him, okay? I turn and quietly leave. Snow is still falling as I step outside. Though the hour is late, there's certainly no peaceful quiet here in Lunaris tonight. The street outside of headquarters are bustling with hunters, enforcers, and everything in between. I keep my head down as I make my way towards the wolf. Fall into a trance as I replay the conversation with Harry over and over, trying to pinpoint the exact moment that made him change his attitude so drastically. I'm snapped back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity, sorry. Good, I'm fine, I swear. When I bump into something cold and hard, finding a pair of familiar golden eyes staring back at me when I look up. Oh, hey, gorgeous.
Distracted, are we?
Yes, very. I step back, brushing down the front of my coat. I can see his lips are on the cusp of curling to the side in a vaguely amused smirk. You could say that. It's been a long night. He offers me a sympathetic look, shoving his hands firmly into his coat pockets as the duo of enforcers passes by. They make a point to glare at him, and by proxy, at me for being near him. Well, it's fine. Finn dutifully avoids their gazes like a man who's had centuries to perfect feigning indifference to the way people treat treat him and his kind. There we go.
I can imagine. I'm just glad to see that you're okay. I was worried for you when you ran off back there.
I was trying to catch a murder. Ah, yes, that. With the flare of adrenaline that the hunt had granted me, I'd foolishly almost forgot. How did you forget about smoochies? I would like to return whoever I am. I'm clearly faulty. Somehow forgotten about the stolen promise. We missed on smoochies. Now it feels like a dream as I stand on the snow-covered street, but Finn is all too real. Clear my throat, distracted by the thought of it. I'm sorry we were so rudely interrupted. He laughs, and the sight of his wide, toothy smile is enough to make me forget my troubles, even just for a fleeting moment. Somehow Finn always serves up a good distraction.
Nothing like a good murder to ruin such a moment, You know, they'll have your head for treason if they hear you joking about such things. Regardless, I really am happy that you're safe. I had fun with you.
Good boy. I should hope that you did. It'd be hard not to. He turns to check that the street is clear, turning back to me with a serious look. I have my clan patrolling the woods. I'll ensure they're out until dawn, searching if necessary. Anything we can do to help find whatever or whoever is doing this. I'm grateful for the assistance, and I certainly can't say I've ever had an entire clan of vampires as allies before. I'm optimistic that their help will be of great value to me. It's very kind. After an indecipherable pause, Finn's expression drifts somewhere far away. Uh-oh. I'm expecting him to be like, did you kill one of my kind? You know, I was out there just now. I picked up a scent. Something familiar. Familiar how? He steps closer, and there's a certain air of caution in the way he addresses me. As if he's unsure that we're truly alone. I didn't get to hang around. There were too many enforcers, but... the blood on that stone we found in the graveyard at the scene of the... He pauses, apprehension clouding the way he looks at me. His next words are glum and as dead as his demeanor. Of Hunter Lane's death. He's testing the waters if the way he holds my stare is anything to go by. waiting to see just how clued in I am. I know about him, Finn. I spoke to Harry just now. Might be a vampire, but the look that crosses his face momentarily isn't exactly subtle. He casts his eyes away from me, a frown that settled at his brow softening around the edges. He licks one of his fangs, thinking of a forlornness that suits him a little too well. I see. And how did that go? Are you also suspicious of Harry? Because, like, trust me. I shrug because I can't really offer him anything else. I feel deflated and defeated. Not great. He's in mourning, and I don't think he's in the right mind to be making decisions. Finn purses his lips, contemplating my statement.
That's a bold way to speak of your Lieutenant General, but I don't doubt your instincts.
Good, you shouldn't.
I've lost loved ones, and it's never easy. The mind needs time to heal after such trauma, and all Harry is doing is delaying his grief.
Eventually, he throws me a half-hearted smile, but I sense there's something pitiful rather than friendly. I suspect my frustration with my current predicament is glaringly obvious without him having to read my thoughts.
I'm sorry you've been kept so in the dark. I can sense that you're frustrated, and I don't blame you. As much as I may not agree with certain information being withheld, it truly is for your safety.
We sure about that? It's funny because everyone keeps saying such things, but it certainly doesn't feel like anything other than sheer avoidance. He removes a hand from his pocket, running long fingers through his hair with a knowing exhale. Yes, well, I cannot excuse anyone else's behavior, but I can apologize for my own. Come by the catacombs when you get a chance. I have some things we can discuss that may help. Really? Though spending some time underground in a tomb sounds less than appealing. Listen, as someone who lives in a basement apartment, it's perfectly fine. Don't judge. Finn doesn't look like the kind of man who lives in squalor. Plus, it's probably not like the dingy catacombs you're thinking. Plus, any information is valued, and Finn has lived here long enough to know the ins and outs of this strange little town. Thank you. I'll take you up on that as soon as I can. He tips his head, encouraging me to follow him towards the wolf, I assume. Come on, I'll walk you home. I'm eager to get inside, and with a few strides I catch up to him, following in step. I don't require an escort, you know. Everyone seems so set on ensuring I'm safe, but you all seem to be forgetting I was brought here to save the day. Supposedly. He purses his lips in an obvious attempt to stop himself from laughing, and I watch the bob of his throat as he swallows the noise.
I'm aware that you require no assistance, but think about the hunters that were killed. They were of your caliber, your rank. The best of the best, as the enforcers love to say. The thought of you ending up like them is not a pleasant one.
It's because I'm the new pretty face in town, and all of you are just, like, fawning over it.
We may not have known you for very long, but we don't want to see you get hurt. I've certainly grown quite fond of you.
We're telling you what to do and where to go and who you can date for your own good. Yeah, no, they're sounding an awful lot like parents. Also, hey, Pulsar, how's it going? They're being parental-like here, and it's getting very annoying. I try to hide my smile, but it's hard when he's being so wonderfully charming. Very well, but no coddling, understand? Yes, General. He laughs again when he catches the sight of the dramatic roll of my eyes, sidestepping with startling grace to avoid the elbow that I launched towards his ribcage. We walk quietly through the streets, the cobblestones glistening with frost. The moon is full and hangs low in the sky, as it always seems to here in the... You're not my vampire dad! Or mom! Or sire! Whatever! I do what I want! Rampage through the streets. We walk quietly through the streets, the cobblestones glistening with frost. I hate that it's snowing! Sorry, it's bothering me, but purely because we're so close to snow ourselves right now that I'm just like, no thank you. No thank you. The moon is full and hangs low in the sky as it always seems to here in Lunaris, and Finn exhales sharply to break the silence. I glance at him, too tired to ask him any of the hundreds of questions that run through my mind. I think he knows somehow, because he also seems to have something at the tip of his tongue. Gem, thank you! Right on point there. Less coddling, more cuddling. I still feel very upset at the fact of a miss smooch earlier. Very rude. Very rude. Stop outside the wolf, and the lantern that hangs above the door dark, thanks to the late hour. Oh, the lantern that hangs above the door dark. I'm not able to say things right. I don't know why it's bothering me. I love snow. I love when it's outside. Okay, yes, fair. When you're inside and warm with Coco, totally valid. I don't like being out in it. I glance up the now familiar sign, a scrappy-looking white wolf howling at a full moon, and I laugh. Finn leans against the mismatched brick and stares at me quite intently. No. Don't like it. Don't like it at all. His eyes unnervingly bright against the growing darkness. What's funny? You're all masters of being painfully cryptic, and yet I still feel at home. But I shouldn't trust a single one of you, should I? There we go! Finally, we're paranoid! He turns, checking we're alone again, before he leans closer, his voice low.
That's for you to decide. So, tell me, Hunter, what does that tricky little gut of yours tell you about all of this? About us? What do you feel?
I feel I'm owed a smooch. If we're being honest here. Oh, working in the snow would be awful. I don't like being outside when it's outside two people. Yeah, fair. I like being outside when it's like not in a major, like not in cities sometimes. Anyway, sorry. All hearts. We only choose love options in this game, friends. Only. I don't know. I don't mind the cold. I actually love the cold. That's a lie. I love the cold. I'm not always a fan of snow just because it like then makes you all like it melts on your stuff and then you get wet and then you're even more cold and it just becomes miserable. Being wet and cold and is just miserable. If you're wet and it's warm out, then it's not bad. If you're just cold and at least you're dry, then it's not bad. But it's like, I don't know. Wet and cold is never good. That's why I don't like snow. I mean, I like it for like 30 seconds and I'm done. Find myself getting lost in the molten gold, watching him watch me, watch me, watch him, watch him, watch me. Anyways, a witty response turns to ash upon my tongue. I'm hyper aware of how close we are, caught by the memory of his hand in mine at the beach, of our lips hovering so close because we were owed a smoochie here, friends. We were this close. We were gonna smooch. This was all ours for the taking. All ours for the smooching. And yet. Wet and cold, bad, wet. Pretty much, yeah. That's how this works. That's why hot tubs are fantastic. He remains silent and I clear my throat. So the festival. He smiles softly, fingers twitching by his side.
I was expecting some brilliant insight into your investigation, but I'm more than happy to discuss our date.
Oh, was it officially a date? I thought you were just my guide. I did not realize it was a date. I huff an incredulous laugh, the noise catching in my throat thanks to his bold statement. A date, was it? He feigns offense, clutching his chest where I know a heart doesn't beat. My smile widens at the ridiculousness of the gesture.
I cannot believe that you would dismiss our evening together as anything other than a date. Especially after you seduced me so beautifully.
I didn't get a smooch. I don't know if it's a date, mister. His fangs graze his bottom lip and my toes curl in the boots at the thought of what they're capable of. A stark reminder that he is still a creature and I am still very much a mortal human that is squishy. Even though I kill such things. I seduced you, did I? If I recall correctly, you were the one who took my hand, who leaned in. You took the lead here. It's not a date without the smooches. Consensual smooches, though. But he seems pretty sure there's consent. But we'll make sure. His answering laugh is enchanting, his nose crinkling, pearly white fangs glistening.
It takes two to tango, as they say. I'm just teasing, though. I do not take offense if you didn't see it as such. I had a good time regardless. I was rather upset our night together ended so abruptly.
Yeah.
But duty calls, right?
I mean, yes, however, we can pick up where we left off. Is there any reason why we cannot? This time I really do elbow him, catching him square in the ribs. He's polite enough to let out a quiet oof, but I know he's truly unaffected. My elbow, on the other hand, now hurts. He grins, all lopsided and beautiful. Exactly, and I should probably be doing many things other than talking to strange vampires in the snow at this early hour. Yes, like sleeping. Sleep is for the weak. And yet here you are. I sighed, joining him and leaning against the wall, my breath turning to mist against the cold air. Here I stay. Smoochies, 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 come on! I wish I knew what it was about him that draws me in besides the obvious. By all accounts, I should be overly cautious around such a creature, but Finn makes me feel more at ease than I thought possible. And I need that tonight more than ever. I want to get to know him to understand why my heart pounds so feverishly whenever he's near. I should head inside. My words sound so dull, and I know I don't mean them. I'm looking for a reason to stay out here, but I'm also probably freezing my ass off, and therefore... You sound positively enthused. I shrug, sparring the old door of the tavern at a glance. Sparing. Listen, words. The sheets are scratchy. I'm just psyching myself up. That's fair. After a very brief pause, he quickly steals his gaze. He reaches out and runs a cool iron finger along the curve of my cheekbone. The etchings flicker in the darkness.
You are quite lovely, you know.
You're not helping! This is still not a smoochie! He really does. Which is kind of funny. But also, sir! Cannot resist the impulse to tip my head in blatant invitation, the way wolves show submission, bearing the column of my throat to a man that could rip it out in the blink of an eye. His cool digit stops over the place where my pulse thrums furiously, and I no longer care that he can hear, that he knows what he's doing to me. I mean, I think it's a little tough to hide, hon. He smells strangely like a dying summer. That's actually kind of neat, though I suspect his memories of sunshine are long
Sweet
dead.
dreams, fair hunter. I daren't keep you from your rest much longer.
Do I not get a kiss goodnight? Come on. Tuck me in. I don't give a shit. Like, come on. Just... My traitor's body shivers under his touch, and I mourn the loss of it when he finally pulls away. He quickly stuffs his hands back into his coat pockets, as if the temptation would be too much if he didn't. Rude! This game is rude! This game is mean. I take a deep breath and try to gather my wits. Can't seem to find an enemy to mind. He smiles at that, and I sense reluctance as he pushes away from the wall, ready to depart.
Ah, alas. You have a town to save. Plus, the night is still young, for a creature like myself.
Jem, you're not wrong. You are not wrong. I sigh, staying closer than is probably necessary, craving contact of any kind. Apparently, I'm touch-starved, as I watch his grin go wider. Right, I should really head inside, though, I suppose.
A pleasure as always. And remember, we've got your back. Should we find anything of interest overnight, I'll come running. Daylight permitting, of course. Good night, Hunter.
I return a smile, pushing the heavy door to the wolf and praying it doesn't creak and wake the other residents. Rude. Rude. This is mean. This is... Good night, Finn. I watch him go before I close the door, the only light of the moon guiding his way as he disappears into the darkness. This isn't very nice. This isn't very kind. This is very... I know, it's actually a quite well-written visual novel. It is technically a visual novel, so I mean, do with as you will. Finally settle upon the hard mattress and the cheap sheets harsh against my skin. God, this place sucks. Time to get comfortable. Light from the low-hanging moon pours into my room. I've scrubbed myself clean of any traces of grime from the hunt, and I can't help but feel irritated by it from the sheer lack of progress I've made so far, both with Finn and this case. Come to the conclusion that there are too many secret keepers in this town, and I refuse to feel defeated or let it continue. Overwhelmed by today's events, I find myself falling into a swift and dreamless sleep. Reality settles over me when I wake, a thick smog that almost suffocates me as I reluctantly drag myself from the almost comfort of my bed. Yeah, that's just it. I agree, Jem. I am willing to bet that Finn probably has silk sheets and would be very comfortable. Clearly got some fashion sense here, so I'm sure he's got good quality goods. He has to have invested. Haven't had anything anywhere near enough rest, but I must relent. I gather the energy to dress and head downstairs. Oh, God. Okay, well. Okay. I'll be honest, I think that's the best place to leave this game for right now. Just because I've had I think we're going to probably leave it at this point. That feels like a good spot, though, with it being a new day. So we're going to leave it there. We're going to go throw a raid over to the Outlaws Network as per usual on a Thursday. And we're going to leave it at that. We're going to pick this up again next week. Oh, good. It is Outlaws and Old Ones, which means it is Call of Cthulhu shenanigans. But it'll be a good time. So hang tight as I get that piece going. But otherwise, thank you all for being here. Thank you for hanging out. And just thank you for being you. Rar. Rar means I love you and dinosaur. I hope you have a fantastic night. And we'll see you next week. Bye!